Okay, welcome everyone. If your work involves moving people, say between places like Singapore, Hong Kong, or Bangkok, or maybe you personally spend quite a chunk of the year in the Asia Pacific region, well, you already know that keeping up with the rules can be the toughest part.
Absolutely. Finding the right place, like a good service department for a long stay, that's one thing. But understanding the regulations, that's a whole different challenge.
It really is. And for professionals on those extended stays, these aren't just small changes in paperwork we're talking about.
No, not at all. They can fundamentally alter how you plan your budget, how long you can realistically stay, and maybe even where you choose to set up shop.
Exactly. So today we're diving into that. We've got source material looking at some really significant shifts happening right now across, think, tax rules, new visa options.
Hmm?
Our goal here is to pull out the key insights you need because the big picture seems clear. Governments are changing their approach. It feels less like general immigration and more like, well, actively recruiting specific kinds of talent.
That's a great way to put it. And maybe the best place to start is Thailand. It's always been a popular spot for foreign residents, a real favorite.
Right.
But they've recently reinterpreted their tax rules. And this isn't theoretical. It has immediate, pretty serious implications for anyone planning to stay longer than half the year.
Okay, let's jump right into that then. This change kicked in January 2024, right? And it sounds like it closes off a planning strategy lots of expats have relied on.
It does. For decades, the practice was essentially that your overseas income was only taxed in Thailand if you brought it into the country in the same year you actually earned it.
Ah, okay, so you could earn money one year, keep it offshore, and bring it in the next year without Thai tax.
That was the common understanding in practice, yes. It allowed for a buffer.
But that's done now. The Revenue Department's clarification seems pretty blunt. Any assessable income you transfer into Thailand is now taxable. Doesn't matter when you earned it. If it lands in a Thai account, it's potentially taxable.
Yes, that's the core change. But, and this is really important, there's a crucial exemption mentioned in the sources. We need to highlight this.
Go ahead. This sounds like the detail everyone needs to know.
It is. Savings that you can prove were accumulated in your foreign accounts before December 31st, 2023. That money is still exempt. It's not subject to this new tax rule when you bring it in.
Okay, wow. So documented savings from before the cutoff date are safe.
Correct. That's a razor-thin margin if you weren't prepared, but it's a massive relief if you have the records to show when that money was saved.
That changes the whole calculation then, doesn't it?
Completely. It means the focus now is really on income earned after that date or income brought in after that date. But it also means if you're moving significant funds now, you might need to prove their old savings.
So if you move money on December 30th, 2023, you follow the old logic. Move the same money on January 1st, 2024, and suddenly it's potentially taxable income.
Unless you can demonstrate it was pre-2024 savings, yes, that's the shift.
And the trigger for all this isn't actually your visa status, which I think many people might assume.
No, that's a common misconception.
It's about how long you're actually in the country. It's about residency.
Exactly. It boils down to duration. If you are physically present in Thailand for 180 days or more within a single calendar year, boom, you're considered a Thai tax resident for that year.
180 days, half the year. And that applies regardless of the visa. Tourist, retirement, business.
Doesn't matter. The calendar is the deciding factor for tax residency status.
Oh,
180 days.
okay, so picture this. You're managing a project, maybe staying in a service department for, say, 7 months straight. That's well over 180 days.
Yep, you're a tax resident.
And that means any worldwide income you transfer into Thailand during that year could be subject to tax.
That's the implication of the new interpretation, yes.
Yeah.
Now compare that to income you generate inside Thailand.
Right, like from a local job or renting out a condo you own there.
Exactly. That kind of income generated within Thailand, that continues to be taxable, regardless of whether you hit the 180-day mark or not. That hasn't changed.
Okay.
But hitting that 180-day threshold now potentially pulls in your foreign earned income too, if you remit it. For remote workers, retirees living off foreign pensions or investments, this is a huge deal. It forces a complete rethink of financial planning.
So Thailand seems to be making things, well, more complicated or expensive from a tax perspective for the general long-term foreign resident.
You could certainly see it that way, yes.
Which raises a bit of a question, doesn't it? If they're tightening the rules for the average expat, who are they actually trying to attract? Seems a bit contradictory.
But maybe it's not a contradiction. Maybe it's a strategy. This is where it gets interesting, connecting the tax changes to other initiatives.
Okay.
It seems Thailand might be tightening the general net precisely so they can focus specific, powerful incentives on the exact types of talent and capital they really want to bring in. Think combating brain drain.
Ah, okay. So make it less attractive generally, but very attractive for a select group. Tell me about that specific program aimed at getting skilled Thais back home.
It's very targeted. We're talking about Thai nationals returning home. They need a bachelor's degree, minimum, plus at least 2 years of work experience outside Thailand.
And if they meet that?
They get a flat, fixed income tax rate of just 17%. That's incredibly competitive compared to standard rates. It's a strong pull to bring that international experience back.
17% flat tax. Wow. And I remember seeing something about incentives for the companies hiring them, too.
Yes, that's part of the package. Employers in specific targeted sectors, think high-tech, R&D, strategic industries, they get a 50% tax exemption on the salary costs for hiring these returning Thais.
So benefits for both the employee and the employer.
Right. But it's not forever. The sources mention a clear end date for this program. December 31st, 2029. It's a temporary, focused push.
Interesting. So a highly strategic move within Thailand. But you mentioned this connects to a wider trend. This isn't just Thailand doing its own thing in isolation.
Not at all. If you zoom out and look across Asia, what Thailand is doing fits into a much larger pattern. We're seeing a really competitive environment emerging.
Competitive for what? Or for whom?
Competitive for talent and capital. More and more countries in the region are launching brand new visa programs. And they're not general visas. They're specifically designed to attract, well, affluent individuals and highly paid professionals.
So not about just filling general jobs, but attracting high-value individuals.
Exactly. It's strategic. The explicit goal is to pull in capital investment in specialized skills. The sources use terms like digital nomads, sure, but also rainmakers.
Rainmakers, meaning people who bring in significant business or investment.
Precisely. Individuals with high earning potential, transferable wealth, significant financial resources, and countries across Asia are essentially rolling out different versions of the red carpet for these specific groups.
Which really brings us to the practical side of things for our listeners. Okay, we've got tighter general tax rules in places like Thailand, but also these very specific, attractive visa programs popping up elsewhere. How does this affect you if you're the one traveling or managing teams?
Well, the bottom line is that careful planning is more critical than ever. You absolutely need a solid grasp of the local rules wherever you're spending significant time.
Especially with that 180-day clock ticking.
Exactly. When we talk about extended stays, finding corporate housing or service departments, that 180-day mark in Thailand, for example, is now a huge factor. It wasn't quite the same risk before 2024.
So that threshold, 180 days, becomes a hard compliance line. If your team member needs to be on site for, say, 7 months, that 185-day stay, using your earlier example, that now potentially carries this worldwide income tax risk that just wasn't there in the same way before.
That's a crucial point. It forces companies and individuals to treat their travel schedule almost like a core part of their financial strategy. It's not just about booking flights and accommodation anymore.
It's about managing the duration to manage the tax risk.
Precisely. If you go over that 180 days in Thailand, the potential cost implications could skyrocket because of that worldwide income exposure.
Does this mean we're going to see travel patterns change? Like, will companies start mandating people leave at day 179 just to avoid triggering residency?
I think that's a very strong possibility. Instead of just booking a 6 or 7 month continuous stay, we might see more demand for, let's call them short-term maximum stays, maybe capped at 175 days.
Followed by a mandatory exit? A border run, then maybe come back?
Potentially. Or maybe rotating personnel more frequently.
Yeah.
For the providers, like those offering service departments or corporate housing, being able to manage stays with that kind of precision becomes really important. Flexibility is still key, but now it's flexibility within a strict time limit.
And the flip side of Thailand tightening its rules like this, people might look elsewhere, right?
Absolutely. It forces an evaluation. Is staying long-term in Thailand still the best option, given this new tax interpretation? For some, the answer might be no.
Which means they'll start exploring alternatives within the region.
Makes sense, doesn't it? The sources definitely suggest that. Expats might start looking more seriously at other Southeast Asian countries that perhaps offer more favorable tax setups, especially for people earning globally.
It's not necessarily about leaving Asia, but maybe shifting your primary base within Asia.
Exactly. Finding a place where maybe that 1 in 80-day clock doesn't trigger the same kind of worldwide income tax consequence, or where there are specific visas designed to attract the kind of work they do with better tax treatment.
And connecting back to those Rainmaker visas.
Right. You see other countries actively trying to capture the very people and capital that might feel pushed away by stricter rules elsewhere. They're designing environments to attract that inflow, often without hitting foreign earnings quite so hard.
So booking that 6-month project stay now involves a tax calculation up front. You can't really finalize the logistics or the budget without understanding that residency threshold.
You really can't, or you do so at your own risk. Understanding the tax residency rules has to be step one before locking in long-term accommodation or assignments. It almost turns the travel planner or HR manager into a compliance role, checking days in country.
Okay, quite a shift then. Let's try and boil this down. What are the main things people need to take away from our deep dive today?
Okay, three key things, I think. First, Thailand's big tax change. Remitted foreign income is now potentially taxable based on hitting that 180-day residency mark, regardless of when the income was earned.
Got it. Point one, the 180-day rule in worldwide income in Thailand.
Second, that crucial cutoff date, December 31st, 2023. Savings documented as accumulated before that date are exempt from the new rule when brought into Thailand.
Yeah.
Huge distinction.
Right. Point two, the pre-2024 savings exemption. Very important detail.
And third, the bigger picture. Asia is in a competitive phase. Governments are actively using new, targeted visa programs to attract specific high-value individuals, skilled workers, wealthy investors, the Rainmakers. It's a race for talent and capital.
Point three, the regional competition for specific talent is heating up. Okay, so these shifts mean managing your time abroad isn't just about logistics anymore. It's a core part of tax strategy.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So for our final thought today, something for you to consider. If this competition for Rainmakers is only getting more intense and a major hub like Thailand has just tightened its general tax rules, maybe it's time to actively research. Which other Southeast Asian countries are now being seen as having the most attractive tax environments specifically for foreign earned income? Your next long-term base might need to be in a different capital city altogether.